Great job, guys. Really beautiful. Left My Heart in Memphis. That's off the album Royal Southern Brotherhood. Of course, a self-titled album, Royal Southern Brotherhood. Oh, man, sweet.
Well, that was a beautiful song.
Yeah, I know, that makes you feel good. I went to talk to the guys, setting up a couple of stools over there, and they were telling me outside before they're just in the middle of a lot of road stuff. That's a lot of work, man, to be able to, you know, doing the road, doing comedy is one thing, but making sure you got your chops up as a band and singing and traveling and driving and flying. Yeah. It's hard to do, man. But they sound awesome. Great job, guys, and thanks for coming out, man.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks, yeah. So this is an interesting group of guys. How long you been playing together?
2 years now.
2 years?
2 years this month.
2 years this month. Yeah. And is it a situation where, like, you have two main guys who do vocals and you switch back and forth on the tunes? Like,
we actually have a cat that's not here tonight, Mr. Mike Zito.
Oh, yeah.
And so there's typically 3 frontmen, and we all take turns, and it's different styles, different vibes, but it happens to go together real good.
Would you call it Southern rock, or is it?
We're from the South.
Yeah.
We rock. Yeah. I don't know. I mean,
what does that even mean? I mean, I don't know.
I think it's a pretty antiquated term.
Right.
You know, I think that we're funk and soul and blues and rock.
You definitely get that, man. Yeah, it's music that it's hard not to have a.
Got Cyril Neville, and there's some funk in there.
Well, I was gonna say you got some. You guys are royalty up there. You got an Allman and a Neville in a bed. Now, growing up in families like your guys, I mean, how much is just music all around growing up, or is it something you had to really sort of pursue, or was it like just there? Like, look, guys, you know, do this.
So in my case, yeah, it was like. You know, I grew up in New Orleans during the late 50s, early 60s and stuff like that. So, you know, I got to absorb a whole lot of great music from an early age. My brother Art is where it started at with my brother Art.
Okay.
And he had a band called the Hawkettes, and that was back in the 50s.
Wow.
You know, and he kept it for a long time, and they used to rehearse in our living room, so I got a chance to really mingle with some really hard-hitting cats from an early age, and they all didn't mind passing things down to me.
Well, that's good. That helps. It wasn't a hostile thing. It was like, you know, let's all do this together. And
it was a beautiful thing. Yeah.
Right. That's what it should be. That, you know. I mean, did it ever get to the point where like business got involved and made it not a beautiful thing, or?
Definitely later on, but at that time,
that can happen, right?
You know, at that time, I was just a little kid looking at it, you know, from the.
It does.
You know, like my brother Art at that time, he was the first person in my family whose voice I heard coming out of the radio. So I mean, you know, he was my hero. You know.
It does suck when something's like as beautiful as this, like art, you know, and then other crap gets involved to just, you know.
It's kind of
it goes
part
this
of what
way.
we have to deal with to put it out to the masses.
Right, exactly. It's a necessary evil, unfortunately.
Sure.
Now what about you? You're Aaron, right?
I'm sorry?
No, Aaron. I mean, what's
Devin.
your first name? Devin. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
I'm sorry, man. Devin, now what about you growing up? Was your dad like present? Was he on the road all the time?
He was always gone. I caught up with him in my late teens, and then I went out on tour with the Allman Brothers to kind of actually see if I wanted to do this, you know?
Right.
So I got to learn.
God, dude, I got to say, your voice is really great, man. And it's your own. You know, like you hear your father in there, but it's your own thing, man.
Well, thanks, man. Really... I mean, that's really the thing. I mean, it doesn't matter who your parents are. I mean, if anything, people look at you harder.
You got to be good. You got to be better.
Well, you got to be true. You got to do your own thing. You know, and it took me a while to kind of find that, but you know, being in this band, it's elevated everyone because it's just really good chemistry. You know.
Sure, I would think with music you have to be better actually. Because, you know, people are looking out for you, like they want to pick you up and go, you know, he's just there because of this, but you got to be good, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely have to be just real and present yourself in an organic manner, and that's all I tried to do. You know, I like singing with soul and playing bluesy guitar, and I love being in this band with these gentlemen.
It seems to be in your blood. I mean, all you guys. I apologize. I really just am an enormous fan of your father and the Allman Brothers.
Hey, all right.
We all are.
Yeah. Do you get a chance to play with him? Have you played with him over the years?
Man, he just played with us.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Right.
And Rico,
and I've played with him many times. You know, maybe 100 or so.
Oh,
yeah.
that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
and Rico, you actually played the drums with the Allman
Oh yeah,
Brothers,
I played
right?
with him a few times. I played with the Derek Trucks band, who Derek Trucks is.
Sure, Derek, the guitarist.
Right,
you know,
and I played with
brilliant.
him for 15 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Before I did this, and we actually won a Grammy together.
Oh, okay.
But I played with the Allman Brothers probably, 25 times.
Yeah.
You know, J-Mo, and one day we were doing Wani, he says, "Man, I'm not feeling good." I go, "Okay." I said, "Man," he says, "I don't think I'm gonna play tonight." I go, "Okay." I said, "Who's gonna play?" He said, "You are." We're like, "All right."
It's tough. It's,
you
think about it. I mean, you think your father will ever get off the road? Is he gonna just? I mean,
Man, I don't think so.
Right.
I really don't. He's a true warrior, and he
is,
lives
man.
lives to play music.
Right.
And I mean, I think he would literally have to not be able to walk for real to go and do it. So I mean, I think we got quite a few years of
Right.
listening to him sing. I sure
that's-
hope so.
That's good news. That's good news.
So Charlie, how did you get involved? It seems like you were probably just handpicked, right? I mean, because you got the chops and you're well known on the Southern circuit. Is that how it kind of worked out?
Best cat in the South.
Yeah.
I grew up in Lafayette, Louisiana, and toured with some Zydeco bands, and I lived in Los Angeles and Atlanta for years. And I moved back to New Orleans about 3 years ago. And on the drive down there, I told my wife I'm going to play in a band. I'm going to play with Cyril Neville. And she says, "Well, you don't know him." I said, but I'm going to play with him. I'm telling you. And so I don't know how I got here, but I'm standing next to these guys. And Enrico's an old friend of mine. He actually married my wife and I, so we go way back.
Oh, no kidding. Okay.
Yeah. And, it's just a beautiful thing to be with these guys and sit back and support them,
I say this, not to freak you guys out on any level, but you seem like, could you imagine doing anything else? I get the vibe that you guys couldn't do anything else. Like, you'd have to keep doing this, right? On some level.
I worked a lot of crazy jobs.
Right.
I'm very grateful for.
Did you grow up in L.A.
for a
then?
job. I did
Or
not,
Georgia?
actually. I didn't. I grew up in South Texas.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Bounced around. My mom remarried in the military, so
all right.
I was a
Oh,
military
you're all
brat
over the
for a while.
place.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Which turned out to be good, but I got to find my own way to music. But I mean, I couldn't imagine. I mean, could you imagine selling insurance? Or... I would buy it from him.
I would.
I really would.
That'd be a good skit.
I'd buy from you guys.
I can't imagine nothing but having a few weeks off
Yeah.
to be home and recharge your soul battery and then back
And get
at it
right back
again.
out there.
Yeah.
I'm that way with comedy. Every time I'm at the end of a 2-year tour now, we're about to do a special, and I always say, like, I'm ready to cash in. But after a few weeks, you're like, I got something in the blood. You got to go back out there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It beats working for a living, that's for sure. I mean, does it even feel like work? I mean, the road is tough, but...
Just the travel.
It's
Yeah.
our
gig-
job, but this is our livelihood.
Yeah.
The gig is the easiest part.
The gig, no, I
really
totally
is.
agree with you.
The
That's
gig
the
is the free
easiest
part.
part.
It is. That's
Don't even
when
get paid for the gig. Get
Right.
paid for all the crap around
you
it.
get paid for
Planes-
traveling and waiting
Planes,
around.
trains, automobiles.
Yeah.
That's what we get paid for.
And food issues.
Tell me about it.
Fork.
I get this body running 10 miles a day. A lot of mini bars, a lot of Twix and soda. Are you? How long you been out on the road now with this current?
We have been out for
You've been out a while.
2 years.
Oh,
yeah.
wow, man.
I mean, we've
much,
had some
yeah.
breaks here and there, but I mean, I don't think we've seen 10 days home in 2 years.
Damn. Now, how hard? Do you guys have
20,
family, kids, and stuff?
25 countries.
No
yeah.
kidding.
Jeez.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's children all. There's
Yeah.
Royal
We had
Southern
just did
children.
14 in a row when we came here. It was
Yeah.
14 in a row.
Yeah, I mean, in 2 years we did like 280 a year in 25 countries, 45 states. Something.
Now, because you grew up somewhat not knowing your father because of the road and stuff, is that something you're able to, how to raise your kid and say, look, I love you, I'm here for you, but this is what Daddy does for a living, and I'm gonna have to be away.
My son was born in 2000.
Oh, okay.
And I stayed home and I didn't tour for the first 5 years.
Oh, cool. That's cool.
I laid the foundation.
Get to know him, right? Yeah. That's good. Now
when he hit kindergarten, I was gone. Hey, see you, buddy. But he was at an age where I could reason with him.
Sure.
At 2, you can't tell a 2-year-old you're going to be home in a week.
Yeah, you can't.
But a 5-year-old, they can grasp it.
Now, did your father marry the wife after Cher,
My mother was wife number 1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so Elijah Blue
Of
is
6.
Elijah Blue is your younger brother, then.
He is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now, what about your son with music? Has he expressed an interest?
He does. He plays piano. Started
No
playing
kidding.
some guitar. Yeah. We'll see what happens. No
You're not
pressure.
pushing him into it.
No, because I mean,
Right.
I found it on my own. I want him to find it on his own.
That's good, man. That's good. Well,
Cyril's son is up and coming. He's banging.
what does he play?
Well, he sings and he plays drums, but right now he's the front man in his own band called Rejected Youth Nation.
Oh, wow.
And
Powerful.
Pretty powerful.
I love that name because I'll tell you, what do you feel? You guys are all like brilliant musicians. The state of music nowadays, electronic music and people with, it's not really their voice. they're singing into machines. It's kind of sickening. I mean, how do you guys feel about that?
That's why we're doing what we're doing.
Yeah,
what I mean?
It's good for your soul almost because you see people selling out 80,000 seats and they have a laptop.
Right.
You know?
But where are they going to be in 3 years?
Well, I agree with you. I agree with you. It just sucks. In 3 years, they might be on a yacht that they made. But they're not creating anything. That's the problem. But they're not creating. Like, there's any justice. Like the sound you guys just made. That should be again.
That's real stuff without machines, without vocals being auto-corrected, without digital influence.
It's brutal.
That's literally why we're here.
Yeah,
That's why we're touring. That's why we're making records. We're trying to keep this stuff alive.
Right. Now, what do you like better? You like singing or the guitar?
I like them both, man.
Yeah.
That's hard. That's hard to pick.
It is hard to pick.
I like
That's
them
the
both.
beauty of the guitar.
What
can
about
do
you,
both.
so?
Oh,
You like playing the drums? You like singing? You like just the whole vibe, right?
I like it all, because my first love was drums, the set of drums. That was the first thing I did. So I love it all, but singing definitely is my greatest job.
It's fun, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could tell, man. You could tell you like it, because that's a big deal. Yeah, that's the other thing. A lot of people mail it in now. Some concerts you see are just like, geez, you just feel like the guy's doing you such a big favor to come. Yeah, what the hell, And you don't know what to yell out to the people with the laptops, like with a guitar player. You're like, what do you say? Like, Google something. hit the space bar.
I love it.
Could you book me a hotel room? Could you go on Priceline while you're playing your music? How do we find you on social media and stuff? Do you do that, the Twitter and everything?
Oh, man, we're very active.
Yeah.
Twitter, Facebook, Royal Southern Brotherhood.
Royal Southern Brotherhood.
We also have RoyalSouthernBrotherhood.com.
Great. All right, and where can we
Twitter,
find...
Twitter.
Twitter. Don't forget to find us on Twitter.
That's rock and roll. I think that's way more rock and roll.
Yeah.
And where can we find you next? What's coming up gig-wise?
Oh, man, we...
BB King's tomorrow.
BB King's
Good
in New York
place.
City.
Great place to see somebody.
Tomorrow night, 8 o'clock.
Oh, awesome, baby. Well, thanks so much, guys. I appreciate you coming by. And if you ever can, come back again.
Thanks for having
Get
us.
some rest
Thank
and come
you.
back. Yeah,
All
man.
right.
Sound amazing.
Thank you, guys.